So Gretchen, you're a technologist. We're here at GridCONNEXT, which is focused on energy and policy. And I think a lot of times when at least policymakers think about technologies, they can be referred to as just kind of buzzwords, artificial intelligence, blockchain, but you actually work with these technologies and see practical applications for them. How can we bridge kind of that thinking of these are just kind of these out there things versus making them useful for the electrical grid?
Got it. What a great question. So this has been eye-opening for me in terms of knowing and understanding technology, but yet seeing what's going on with the grid. And the fact is that much of it is pretty old. And so I start to think about things like, can we apply something like agile development like we use in a software environment? Could we potentially do that from a policymaker perspective rather than figuring out what the policy is and then taking maybe 2 years before it all comes out at the end, so to speak? But what about the fact that you could leverage something like Agile, do a quick sprint, try something out, test it out, pull some of the citizens together. And that's not even a technology thing, but it's applying a technology technique to be able to put that into play. And then I do think about all of the cybersecurity risks, and honestly, one of the things I mentioned today, which I thought was pretty funny, was, and I had that problem happen to me, a squirrel got into our transformer and ultimately blew the power in our street for 5 or 6 hours, excuse me. But thinking about the fact that there are those kinds of things that you could do, and you could leverage something like blockchain, that you could encapsulate the information and ensure that it's secure so that even something like a squirrel would happen and you're not going to lose that information that you're trying to put back and forth. And then I also think about if you do lose the power, there's a lot of technology that we've developed that's persistent. And what I mean by that is if the system goes down and then the system comes back up, it's persistent, meaning all of the data and all that information is still there. Where today, based on what I'm understanding, probably the technology that's being used is not persistent. And so once that data's gone, it's gone, if you know what I mean. So I think those are just a few things that you could use.
I also enjoyed the squirrel bit. John McWilliams called them furry suicide bombers. That's
yes,
hilarious. So
yes.
Thank you for sitting down.
It didn't live in my case either at my house.
Well, thank you for sitting down and talking with us. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks so much. I appreciate it. Hello, I'm Gretchen Stewart.
I'm Chris Gould.
I'm Julia Stain. Sue Gander.
Bill Ritter. Calvin Butler.
I'm Mahesh Sudhakaran.
Thank you for watching One-on-One
One-on-one. One-on-one.
One-on-one.
One-on-one.
with Zpryme.